Hi everyone and welcome back to LovelyGirlieBits. This is the first gardening video of 2023 and I'm so excited. I loved filming videos last year and it really got me like trying new things out in the garden, and I was like digging borders and everything. But we're back this year with more gardening content, and I want this content to inspire you to get out in the garden. If you're new to gardening, it's grand. I know it can seem overwhelming, but if you start kind of small and you can build up, that's what I've done over the last few years. And like this year, I just want to grow everything. And there's a couple that I haven't been able to find yet, so I'm going to have to order them online. But listen, also, this doesn't even count the seeds that are in the shed. I just wanted like new bits. I'm going to show you what I bought so that if you do see anything that you like, we can sew along together and keep each other motivated and see each other's progress. Now, just let me say that I love sowing seeds. I think it is one of the most therapeutic parts of gardening for me, because you're just out there, hands are in the soil, and you're like labeling stuff. It's just one of my favorite things ever out in the garden. I won't have the space for all of these. So what I'll do is I'll pot things on and then I'll give them to like family and friends. I've already said to Catherine that I'm going to give her a few bits here as well. But one of my gardening goals for this year is to have flowers in the garden, and every week I'm going to go and pick some and put them into a vase. A vase. A vase. A vase or vase. Anyway, even if it's like a big one like this. Oh, lads, look. I bought daffodils in the supermarket yesterday, and I'm just going to wait for them to grow. Now I do have pots out the back that have tulips and daffodils and everything, but we'll see how this goes. So yeah, I just really want to have lots of colour, lots of variety in the garden this year, and that's where the seeds come in. I'm going to show you the seeds that I get. As I said, I'm going to hold everything up. If you see anything that you like, take a photo, screenshot. But there are so many in here, I'm not going to be able to list them all in the description box. I don't think there's enough space in the description box. But let's get cracking. The first ones that I got are Sunflower Sunburst Mixed. I got these last year and I absolutely loved them. These flowers, oh my god, first of all, I love that there's like so many different mix of colours there. They grew huge, but then also they had so many heads on them. So I was like, okay, great. I'll be able to cut them off for my cut flower, like vase situation. I will say that the stalks get really thick, really heavy. So I'm going to have to figure out something else to support them with this year. Got these. Catanange Cupid's Dart. It says that these are good for sunny borders and for dried flowers. That's something else that I want to try and do this year. Dry out some flowers, and from cut flowers. Perennial. I tried to get like a good few perennials, again, just to try and save money for next year. So the perennials are the ones that will come back every year. Annuals you have to sow every year separately, so buy new seeds every year. And biennials, I'll explain more about them later. These looked fabulous. These are the Aquilegia Petticoat Pink. They looked really bulbous and just a nice soft pink, because I'll explain, since my last video I did extra kind of work in the garden, so I have lots of space to grow, but I still want to dig more. Now I'm on a sweet pea buzz at the moment. I bought these. These are Sweet Pea King Edward VII, and I loved how vibrant they were. You have Sweet Pea Painted Lady. These can either be sown indoors, I'll explain about that in a second, or directly into the ground. It says that these date from the 1730s and that it's heavily perfumed and weather tolerant. Got this one, the Sweet Pea Summer Sizzler. And I loved the vibrancy of this. So it's like a hot pink, corally, bit of peachiness in there as well. Sweet peas make for really good cut flowers, because the more you cut them, the more they bloom, because they're not going to go to seed. I loved the look of these. Lupin Pink Fairy, and it says that it's a neat, compact, bushy dwarf plant, so they only get up to 28 inches. How tall is that? Again, I liked the white and pink vibes. So if you remember last year, up on the patio, I had that as like the cottage garden area. So everything is in pots up there, and there's like mix of purples and pinks and whites and green. I've now extended that. I dug my border the way I wanted to last year, so I'll show you later. Okay, ooh, these are fab. So these are Sunflower Little Dorit, or Dorit, if you are a Housewives fan. If you're looking to grow sunflowers and don't have a huge amount of space, these work perfectly in pots. It says that 4 foot is the plant height, and it says that it prefers full sun. So yeah, I just keep them on the patio, move them around. The bees love them. And next year, so when these are finished, all the centre part will then turn into seeds. You can save those seeds for next year as well. I didn't do that. I gave them all to the birds. So that's why I'm buying new ones. But yeah, this is my 3rd year, I think, growing these, and they are so easy. I got some Zinnia Forecast. Looks like it's a nice mix. These are going to be perfect for cut flowers. I really want to have my own props My own photo props this year. Oh, we're back to Sweet Pea. So I'm trying to do it so you can see the colour. So we have Sweet Pea Mary Lou Hurd. Just think sweet peas are so lovely and fragrant. Really nice. Now, I loved the look of these. These are Lupin Dwarf Gallery Mixed. And I thought that these would be such a gorgeous addition to the cottage garden area. I have a feeling that the whole garden is going to end up being cottagey. But I like the fact that you have like the peach and the yellow in there. You've got a bit of like the burgundies, the whites, the pinks. So I think, you know, we have a rose outside that's kind of peachy in colour. And last year I had kind of one colour on one side and then like the cottage garden on the other side. So I kind of want the garden to be more harmonious this year in terms of colour. I'm not going to have like a mad colour scheme, but I just want it all to kind of, when you look at it and go, ooh, that looks like a wash of colour. And I think this would be a really nice plant to tie everything together. I wonder will I have like a little wild coloured area. So this is an Arinthium Dark Orange Potomac. Aren't those so vibrant though? Oh, and it says strong stems for quality cut flowers. So yeah, actually that is one of the reasons why I bought it. So it's like I want to have like different things in my little posies, my bouquets. Got an Arinthium Apple Blossom Potomac as well. These are essentially snapdragons. So got it in that colour. For the cottage garden area, wouldn't that be fab? I got some Zinnia Cupid Mix. Don't they look like dahlias? The little pom-pom dahlias. Thought they were fab. Got one of these, a Petunia Purple Tower. So this grows up to 4 to 6 foot. It says on the back here, excellent for containers or allowed to scramble as ground cover. It says it's possibly the fastest climbing petunia available from seed. Prefers well-drained soil in full sun. I have a vision for this, so we'll see if it works. So out the back we have a big concrete pole from a line from before I moved into the house. I'm not going to dig it up. I don't have the manpower to do that anyway, but it's grand. But wouldn't it be cool to like have something like growing up it? Because I've seen these pots that you can get that like attached to like poles. They kind of, you know, I just thought it'd be cool. Anyway, if not, I thought it'd be like nice, maybe kind of fence coverage as well. This is an Arinthium Lucky Lips, and it says it's great for beds and borders and adds height to borders. That's what I want, to kind of have like a little. And I don't want my borders to be like really traditional and that like all the tall stuff is at the back and then it goes down. I kind of like having things that are different sizes to make you look, because I think that's why I love informal gardening as opposed to formal gardening. Because you know, if you see a formal garden, when you look at it, it's like your eye takes it all in all at once. But in informal gardening, you're kind of like looking and I don't know, I just love that. And you're kind of go, oh look at that, oh I didn't see that the last time. This is Honesty Lunaria Annua. I didn't realise that this was a biennial. I just saw it and I was like, oh, I love that, because I've seen that on Gardener's World, the little seed head things. And I know where I want to put this. And it'll be in that new borders that I dug last year, that when the sun goes down, it goes behind it and it will like look through those. So you'll be able to see kind of like little wispy. But we'll have to wait till next year because this doesn't flower until next year. So it's a biennial, so it's every 2 years. I might try and find like plants of these so that if I can get little baby plants of these this year, then I'll have those plants for this year, then these ones for next year. Nepeta Pink Cat. I think I have this already, but just as a plant that I bought. And it says the flowers in the first year. Really like that. Again, what height is this? Like 10 to 12 inches. So it's just a nice thing. I think this will be good in pots now as well. Yeah, perfect for containers or bedding. Now, why did I buy Cosmos seeds? I don't know, because I harvested so many. I'm going to be able to give flowers to everybody. I can't wait. We have Cosmos Cupcakes Mixed. Cosmos are so easy to grow if you're new to gardening. And then I got these ones. Cups and Saucers Mixed. There are so many different colours and varieties of Cosmos seeds, so you will not find it hard to get these in the garden centres. Loved the look of these. So these are Calendula Cantaloupe. A little known fact is that Catherine and I every summer, pretty well all year round, we will send each other's tour of the jardins, and one year we just decided that we're calling these calendulas, and we think that's hilarious. Now I have orange and yellow calendulas outside. I have to remember to say it properly, but aren't these gorgeous? They're like a really soft pastel-y mix. These are so easy to grow as well, and they're very hardy too. Next up we have some Lythrum Salicaria Purple Loosestrife. I feel like I have something like this already. I thought that this would sit really nicely along with the catmint, and then with like something pink down there that we got. But I like height and structure, but like wispiness, so that like it moves. I don't like things that are too compact. I love that thing. I don't know how you say this. Facilia? I grew this before. I grew this a couple of years ago, and the bees loved it. So if you're growing vegetables, and I'll talk about the seeds that I got in a second, it's really good to have, if you look at the front here of like different seed packets, you'll see bees on the front. Oh, sorry. There. You want to attract the bees. They're going to help to pollinate. They're going to help your fruit to be created. I'll talk about pollination in another video, but the bees absolutely loved it. Oh my god, we're nearly there. This is so exciting. Then I got cornflower double mix. Thought these would be really nice as dried flowers and as cut flowers in the jardin, and I might do them in pots. Will I? Maybe. We'll see. I might actually kind of experiment with seeds this year and put some of them directly into the ground, put some of them into pots and see how they go. Finally, for now, we have Verbascum Phonecium Quattro. Butchered that. But you know what? The first year that I got into gardening, Catherine and I be talking and going, oh my god, are we ever going to learn like some of the Latin names? Can we not just call it like such and such? But we're getting into the Latin names now. Not all of them, only a couple, but we're getting there. How tall did these get? Plant height 70 centimeters. That's decent, isn't it? It says late spring and summer flowering, so I can start sowing them indoors in February. So it's kind of looking at the back of the seed packets to see, is there anything that I could start sowing now? And there is. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so those are the flower seeds that I bought so far. I may buy more if I see them. I really do want to get a ridger on. Then when it came to buying vegetable seeds, I think the first year that I started gardening properly was 2020, the year that shall not be named, and I just grew everything because there's nothing else to do. I feel like each year that's gone on, I know what we're going to eat. I know what we're going to be harvesting. I know what we're going to be able to like bring over to like family. I know when the family comes over that we're going to be able to just like pick things and eat them when they're over for barbecues. While things like beetroot are really easy to grow, I know we're not going to eat them. So I'm not going to waste space with that. And even like since last year, I've learned things that I'm not going to grow again, things that I would grow again. So I bought some of this borage. I think the bees really like this. Yeah, it says attracts beneficial insects. It says easy to grow herb, and it says it tastes like cucumber and it's perfect in summer drinks. Now, I developed a penchant for Pimm's last year. I sound like such a lady. When Joanna and I were in London, I was like, oh, I've always wanted to try Pimm's. You know, you see it on the telly, or you see people at Wimbledon having it, and it's a gin-based drink. It's gorgeous. So we bought a bottle of Pimm's last year, and it's nice to put like bits in it. So you put cucumber and you can put strawberries and stuff in it. So that's why I bought this, for my Pimm's. I bought sweet corn. So this will be my third year growing sweet corn, and I'm going to go through my emails to see what variety I had last year and the year before. But I found these so easy to grow. I started them off in like little pots, and then I transplanted them out maybe in May or so. Is it May? But I don't know if this is the exact variety that I've used before. So I have out the back 2 square raised beds. They're like, I think they're 4x4. The first year I grew them, I only had one bed, and that's where I obviously planted them out. Last year I put them into the second bed because I think apparently, if memory serves correct, you're not supposed to keep them in the same bed each year. It's something to do with the soil, the nutrients. I need to research that more. But I'm happy once I put like soil conditioner and more compost and everything back into the first bed, I'll be ready to transplant them out in May. But there is nothing like having people over for a barbecue and be like, listen, who wants some corn? Break it off and you can cook it right away. So sweet and juicy. I'll talk about them in more detail. God, I could talk about stuff. This just makes me so happy. You have no idea. I bought 2 packs of these. These are carrot rainbow mix. I had a pack of these last year that I sowed, and my nephew loved the idea of it. So we made up a game called Guess the Carrot. And the idea is, because you don't see what's below the soil, you have to guess the colour that you're going to pick. And if you pick it and it's right, you get to eat the carrot. But if you pick it and it's wrong, you get to eat the carrot. He thought this was the best game ever. These are really easy to grow. I grew these out back in, I think May, at the end of May. And yeah, by the summer we were yoinking them up. I decided to try this cucumber merlin, and one of the reasons why I got this is because they will grow vertically, which is grand, but they're perfect for pots and containers. So I'm thinking I might have like a little trough, or even if in a single pot, and you can just use like bamboo or willow stick supports and like tie them up. But we'll see how they go. I got mint for the Pimm's. If you're growing mint along with other herbs, just keep them in separate in a pot. If you put your mint in like your herb border or a herb area garden, it will take over. It just spreads like a wildfire. I got radishes. These are French Patricia. Nice to have in salads, mixed in with couscous. My nephew, I don't know, did he say he had them? Anyway, I got them for him because, again, it's one of those things that you can harvest really quickly. So if you're waiting for things to happen, there's loads of seeds in there. 450 seeds. Eating radishes for weeks. Actually, one of the things that I have learned, and I tried to adopt last year but didn't really, was succession growing. I'm going to really focus on that. I'm really going to plan out what I'm going to do each week, each month in the garden this year, because I don't want to have all the peas ready to eat at once and then they're gone. So succession growing, we're going to do that this year. So I bought these tomato seeds. They are Gardener's Delight. My experience when it comes to tomatoes, and I've grown different varieties over the years, is that for us here as a family, we prefer the cherry tomatoes. It's really nice, as I said, having people over and showing them what's new in the garden, and then people can just pick the ripe tomatoes there and then. I found that when I've grown like full-size tomatoes, like normal like plum tomatoes, they're just not as nice or as juicy or as sweet as cherry tomatoes. And I grow all my tomatoes in pots. This year I might try and do some in pots, some in beds. We'll see. So, but Gardener's Delight, delicious. We got so many tomatoes last year. Then these are tomato limoncito. So I won't be sowing these until kind of mid-March to April. But like a little mini cherry tomato, plum tomato. I just want colour in the garden this year. What are they called? Orange Beauty. Aren't they beautiful? Nothing like tomato, fresh from the garden, cut in half, just like a little bit of salt. Then we got these carrots, short and sweet, just for a different thing. I might try and put these, yeah, it says perfect in containers, that's why I bought this. With the other multicoloured ones, I'll put those in the bed again. I thought these would be handy to experiment with, containers. I got spring onions as well, and I've never grown these before. I know Catherine grew some, then thought that she'd eaten them all and then they came back. Again, I bought these because it says ideal for containers. So it's just, I don't want to have everything like squashed into the bed. That is another learning that I've made from last year. I pack things together too much. They don't have room. So with containers, I'm in charge, and I think it'll be easier for succession sowing. So I'll sow a few and often. I do have peas in the shed that from last year because they give you millions of seeds. How many's in this? 100. I don't have room for 100 pea plants. What's this called? These are called early half pint plants. When grown in containers, you'd use good quality compost suited to vegetables. Sow every 2 weeks for a succession of harvests. That's what I'm going to do. It's on camera now, which means that I have to do it. Oh, 15 centimetre tall plants. Oh, that's tiny. We're going to give those a go. But as I said, I do have lots more seeds in the shed. So yeah, if you're thinking about growing vegetables or flowers this year, make a list, then ignore the list. Just buy what you want. I know, but it is nice to have like some kind of a plan, but then some kind of spontaneity in the garden, because if you don't want to plant things in the ground, just get yourself a few pots and just see what happens, you know? And as I said, out the back now, I have bulbs that are coming up. So I planted those bulbs. I was very late doing it this year. Right before the big freeze that we had in December, at the start of December, and I was like, oh my god, I bet I'm after like killing them all. I can't remember what's in what. I didn't label any of them because I just thought it'd be like a nice surprise to see what is gonna come up. But all the pots except for that one are starting to sprout now, so I have like little bulb shoots. I'm so excited. I just have so many plans for the garden this year, and I can't wait to document it and share it with you and hopefully give you the inspiration. And if we can sow the seeds together ourselves, or if we're like picking up plants, I let you know what ones I'm picking up to see if you want to get any as well, and see what we can do in the garden, because it makes me so happy. You have no idea. And actually, I wanted to share a podcast that I was listening to. So I was listening to the Gardener's World podcast, Gardener's World magazine podcast, sorry. And this year, to start off this year, Adam Frost is talking to like different experts about how gardening can help your health. And so he's talking about growing food for your health. Then there's one that I haven't listened to yet about like the quality of air. But then this one is called A Happy Head with Professor Harriet Gross. I don't know her, I haven't heard of her, but oh my god, it was just so gorgeous to listen to. And it talks about how, you know, if you're out in the garden, that it can help relieve stress, and that's what it does for me. Like, that's my switch off place, you know. I'll have like the phone beside me just in case if anybody rings, but usually like there's music playing. I don't even play podcasts when I'm out there. Either I'll do it in silence or I'll have music playing. And that's something actually that I noticed last year. So back in, I think it was the start of October, that's when I dug that other bed at the far side of the garden. So the one that I dug back in May last year, I am going to extend that. I want more in there. But the other one on the far side of the garden, I did that and I filmed it as well. But then it was like I realised that last year in the garden, while I loved documenting everything, I felt that I was saying to myself, oh, I'm not going to do that today because I want to film that, or I'm not going to, you know, prune such and such today, or I'm not going to like plant stuff today because I want to film that. And for me and the garden, it's so important that I keep what I love about the gardening as well, for like part of it for myself too. So I'm going to have so many projects over the coming months, like between now and like probably October, that I'm going to be filming, I'm going to be sharing, I'm going to be documenting. But like having that realization has just made me go, okay, so I'll have like days where I film in the garden, but then the rest will be just to potter and just to enjoy and to do stuff just because, you know, because I don't want to lose that. I don't want to feel like it becomes a job, or I can't, oh god, I can't do that today because, or I can't go out and potter today at lunchtime because I need to film it and I don't have makeup on, or I don't want to, do you know, that kind of way. So I'm going to absolutely have that balance this year. Actually, I feel like I've waffled on enough today. So I think in next week's video, we'll chat all about the sweet peas and sowing the seeds. Now, if you're watching this now, I'm filming this. This is the 8th of February. Start, if you haven't already, saving your toilet roll insides. You know the cardboard from hold on, let me show you. This is not going to be my thumbnail. Start saving these because we're going to sow our sweet pea seeds in these. And I'll explain why in the next video. Thank you for listening to me waffle about what seeds I bought for the last however many minutes. Like buying those just gave me such joy because I know that those little packets, like we're going to eat what's inside of that. We're going to be able to pick and display and enjoy little seeds from in here that are going to turn into flowers. Thanks a million for watching. I'm going to save this to a playlist and I'm excited to see what we can do together in the garden this year because lads, it's going to be abundant. We're going to have so many flowers, so many fruit, veg. I'm excited for Lovely Gardening Bits this year. Anyway, thanks a million for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye.